everybody, welcome back. Today we are continuing our geometry unit. We are talking about something called a polygon today. Before we get into that though, let's review what we've already learned about geometry. First of all, what is geometry? Well, geometry is the study of shapes and figures. We have already learned about 5 figures and we're going to review those really quick. First of all, we have our point. And when you point at somebody, the end of your finger looks like a little dot. That is a point. A point is a dot. It shows an exact location, especially on a number line, right? We have an exact point on our number line that shows us an exact number. A point also shows an exact location in the real world. Like if we wanted to put our marker in Fortnite, we have an exact point that shows our location. Or if we want to go somewhere, if you want to go visit grandma and you type in the address into your GPS, it's going to show you an exact point on your GPS of where you're going to go. Next, we have the line. And a line is simply, you draw a simple line, and it has arrows on the end of it because lines go on forever and ever in both directions. To remember a line, I want you to think of a number line because when we draw a number line, we draw an arrow in one direction and an arrow in the other because numbers go on forever in both directions. So a line goes on forever in both directions. A line is like time. Time has no beginning, no end. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and on forever and ever and ever. Just like numbers. Numbers go on forever. Negative numbers and positive numbers in both directions. So make sure it has 2 arrows on the ends. Next, we have something very close to a line. It's called a line segment. The difference here is that a line segment has 2 endpoints. So here we're kind of combining the points and the line because we have a beginning point right here and an end point right here. That is because a line segment is just a certain chunk on the number line. It's not the entire number line. It's just a certain amount. It's like watching a movie. You have a start time and an end time, okay? And remember, if you want to remember line segment, it's like a Segway. You can drive on a Segway, kind of like a hoverboard, where you have 2 wheels right here on the ends, and you have your line right here, like a Segway does. It looks like a Segway because that's a segment. And then we have, Ray Ray. So Ray Ray in the house. We have Ray Ray, and he is singing in one direction. That is because we have a point, and then it goes in one direction. So he goes, ah, and his voice carries in one direction. If I sing, my voice is not carrying behind me. No. Ray is singing right here. Here's his little head, okay? And he's singing in one direction. He's going, ah, and it's going out. That's because Ray Ray, sings in the band, one direction, okay? And also, you can remember this like a ray of sunshine. You can imagine that this is the sun. Your point is your sun, and it goes in just one direction, okay? Like a ray of sunshine. And you can have a bunch of rays coming off of it. And if you have 2 rays together, you have made an angle. An angle looks like an A, a capital A. That's because the point right here is the top of our A, and then it has 2 lines coming out of it. So we have an end point, and then we have 2 lines that go out of it in 2 directions. It makes an angle. So our angle looks like a V or an A, and that's because it has 1 end point and then 2 lines that go in both directions. So we have our point, which is a dot, our lines, which have 2 arrows, a line segment, which has 2 endpoints, a ray, which goes in one direction, has 1 point, and then an arrow. Then we have an angle, which has 1 point and 2 lines coming out of it. All right, today we're talking about polygons. Polygons, that is such a fun word to say. I want you to say it with me. Polygon. I think you can do better. Polygon. Polygon. A polygon is a bunch of different shapes. It's kind of like a category where you can put a bunch of different shapes into. So first of all, we have a couple of rules for it to be a polygon. For it to be a polygon, it has to be a flat shape. So we can't have 3D shapes. We cannot have cubes, cylinders, prisms. We cannot have anything that is 3D that sticks up off the page. These are all very flat shapes, 2D, okay? The next rule is that it has to be a closed shape. So you can't have any lines crisscrossing. You can't have any gaps. They have to all be connected. The next rule is no curves. So there's no curves. It's all straight lines, okay? So a polygon, this is the biggest one, has to have straight lines. It cannot have curves. That's because for it to be a polygon, it has to have corners. And a circle does not have a corner, okay? A polygon is made up of lines. And lines, when they come together, make a corner. If they're curved, they don't make a corner. So straight lines only, no curves. That's a big no-no. And then it has to have at least 3 sides. That's because if you try to make 2 sides, that would be an angle. And an angle is not a polygon. It's not a shape. So it has to be closed. So we see here our triangle is going to be actually our smallest type of polygon you can make. So we have a triangle, we have a rhombus, we have a square, an arrow, another triangle, a trapezoid, pentagon. I have an octagon, but it's kind of cut off. I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A decagon right here, rectangle. I have a heptagon. I have a bunch of different shapes up here. All of these are considered polygons because if you look at them all very carefully, they all have straight lines, they're all flat, and they're all closed. None of them have gaps open, okay? So let's talk about what is not a polygon. These shapes coming up next are not polygons. They do not follow the rules, okay? So first, let's look at this shape right here. The problem here is that this is not 1 polygon, it's 2, because the lines crisscross. You can't have crisscross lines, okay? Right here, this is not a polygon because the lines are overlapping. That's not even a shape. Here, this one is out because it has curves. The moon is out because it has curves as well. This one wants to be a polygon because it has 1 corner, but the curve ruins it. You have to have no curves at all. Doesn't matter how many straight lines you have. If you have a curve in it, it's not a polygon anymore. No curves. This right here also has 2 straight lines, but guess what? It has a curve, so that's not a polygon. This weird circle looking thing right here, not a polygon because of the curves. Same thing here, curves, curves, curves. And then we have a couple of different open shapes. This right here is an angle, and that's not a shape because it's not closed. This one is very close to being a polygon, but if you look carefully, there's a gap there, which keeps it from not being a shape. That's not a triangle yet because the line is not connected. If we connected it, then it would be a polygon. But because it's like this and open, it's not a polygon, okay? Same thing with this one right here. It has a gap, and it also has curves, so that can't be a polygon. Next two I want to talk about, this one is a cylinder. It is a circular shape, so circles are out because it has curves, not a polygon. Also, it's 3D. So if you look very carefully, it has like 3D dimensions. It is 2 shapes like pushed together. It's not a flat shape. It's not flat, so that cannot be a polygon. And this is the last one I want to talk about right here. Not a polygon because it is also 3D. It's a cube. If you draw a cube, it has multiple sides to it. So that is not a flat shape. A flat shape just lies flat on the ground, okay? It's like a pancake. A cube is like a dice, and you can hold it, and it's 3D. So this is not a polygon, even though it has straight lines and they're all closed, because it has multiple shapes pushed together to make it 3D. So it's not a polygon. So we're going to play a game, polygon or not. So first we're going to look at this shape. We have a nice straight line. That's good. We want that. We'd love to see that. But do we want this curve? No. The curve makes it not a polygon, okay? This next one, let's look at it very carefully, okay? We have a bunch of straight lines. Okay, that's looking good. We have them all connected. That's good. I don't see any crisscrosses. They're all closed. It's 2D. It's flat. Do I see any curves? I do not. So this is a polygon. Yes, this one meets the requirements. It is a polygon because straight lines, no curves, we're good to go. This next one, what is this? I've got some straight lines here. Okay, good. The corners are not there, but they put a straight line here to make 2 corners, so that will work. There are no curves. These, if you look very carefully, these are corners that have been connected by a straight line. So all of these are straight lines. I see no curves. So this is a polygon, yes. All right, I want you to try this one on your own. I want you to look at it, think about the rules, has to be straight lines, no curves, a 2D shape, can't be open, has to be closed. Is this a polygon or not? What do you think? If you said not a polygon, you are correct. This is not a polygon. Good. All right, let's talk about this shape. This shape where you are looking for straight lines, connected, 2D, no curves. Does this meet the requirements? Is this a polygon or not? If you said not, you are correct, because even though we have straight lines and it is flat, they're not connected right here, so it's not a polygon. All right, is this a polygon? We have a pentagon here. It has 5 straight lines. I see no curves. It's flat. What do you think? If you said polygon, let's see. You are correct. Excellent. Let's do a couple more. All right, what about this one? Ooh, this one's tricky. We are looking for a 2D shape that is flat, that has no curves, that has no openings or gaps. What do you think? Is this a polygon or not? If you said not a polygon, you are correct. That is because this is a 3D shape. If it's 3D, if it has sides, it's not a polygon. Sorry. All right, last one. Is this a polygon or not? If you said polygon, you are correct. So our next lesson is going to be talking about 8 specific polygons. We're going to be talking about triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, hexagons, heptagons, octagons, nonagons, and decagons, which sounds really scary, but I promise you it's going to be actually really fun. So let me make sure that you know what a polygon is. A polygon is a shape that has straight lines, no curves. It is connected. All of the lines are connected. And then it is also flat. Means it doesn't have sides. It's not 3D. Just a flat, nice shape. And it has at least 3 sides. Because if it only had 2 sides, you have to connect that third one to make it an actual shape. If it has 2 sides, it's just an angle. All right, guys, if you need any help at all, please feel free to let me know. Good luck, guys.